When you're a homeowner, there's lots of things you never want to discover. A burst pipe, black mold, secret hallways with the old owners still living in them, and of course, cockroaches. Everybody knows once you find one, you'll find another, and another, and soon, you have a huge problem on your hands. Hey, what's up? This is Gary from Raz Rentals, and this is my review of Scumbug from the original Playmates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy line. Recently, NECA had a pre-order for their cartoon version of Scumbug, and I thought now was a great time to talk about the toy that inspired the cartoon, and eventually inspired the new toy. So, I'm going to discuss Scumbug's history across the different Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle timelines. I'm going to review the original action figure from 1990, and I'm going to show a variant of Scumbug, and I'll also do a brief comparison with the brand new cartoon NECA figure. Scumbug has always been a favorite toy of mine. I got him in the mail as a kid from a family member. I don't remember which family member, and when I thought I knew who it was, I asked them, and they were like, I never sent you any toys in the mail. I was like, well, who the hell sent me this? But, he's just amazing. He has a ton of detail, like a lot of the Ninja Turtle toys back then, and the gross out factor is dialed to 11. This Scumbug toy originally came out in 1990, and that was the third year of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy line. His card explains that he used to be an exterminator who got hired to eliminate a bug problem in the Technodrome. What a moron. Seriously, who'd take that job? There, he got accidentally oozed and mutated, and because he's unable to face customers, he's working for the Shredder as one of his ace assassins. So, before I get into the full-on toy review, let's talk a little bit about Scumbug's other appearances. Even though I love Scumbug, he is very underused. Like, he hasn't even appeared in any of the Ninja Turtle video games. Along with making his first toy appearance in 1990, Scumbug also made his first comic book appearance. He showed up in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures number 10 in the merry old month of May. And as you can see here, his design is a little different. Like, his head looks more like a cockroach body than it does on the toy. And I think Ken Mitch-Roney designed this. And he's probably my favorite Ninja Turtle Adventures artist. He's very expressive and very cartoony. And essentially, his storyline is pretty similar to the one in the toy line. It's just a little different. In this comic book, Bebop and Rocksteady are dumping some mutagen into the sewer. Scumbug gets hired as an exterminator to exterminate bugs in the Shredder's building, not the Technodrome. And while he's doing that, he accidentally falls into the sewer where they were, dumping this mutagen. And eventually he turns into, let's see here. Come on. Let's go. Scumbug. And again, his face is very different. It's still cool, though. And they kind of, his body parts are actually switched around. Like, the mutant hand is on the opposite side. And, Scumbug here is going to kill the Ninja Turtles. But instead, a mutated leech turns into the mutant worm. And he interrupts the battle. And he actually, he tries to stop Scumbug from killing them. And eventually, Worm decides that he wants to eat Scumbug. And in the end, it seems like the two of them explode, never to be seen again. But unfortunately, the truth is much worse. Scumbug and Worm made their reappearance in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures number 52. That was in January of 1994. That's 4 years later. And essentially, for the past 4 years, Scumbug has just been slowly getting chewed on by Worm. Worm split himself into all these little tiny worms, and they've just been eating them. I don't know how Scumbug was able to survive that whole time, not eating anything. Maybe he's eating them every now and then, and he's still staying alive, and then they're slowly eating. I have no idea. It's weird, right? So, essentially what happens is, these guys right here, these guys are rivals of April, and they went into the sewer, and they stumble across this horrific discovery. And it distracts Worm enough that he decides to pull himself back into his full form. And then Scumbug attacks Worm, but then Worm thinks, oh, you know what? Maybe, Scumbug, we should work together. And we should eat these reporters. And that's what they try to do. They try to eat these reporters. Meanwhile, not far in the sewer, the Ninja Turtles have discovered some kind of alien spaceship and some alien named Toxim Toxem, something like that. He attacks the turtles, so they're fighting him, and eventually the two battles cross over and crash into each other. And in the end, what happens is that this alien Toxem shoots Scumbug and Worm with the Crystal Death, which sucks for Scumbug. I mean, this poor guy can't get a break. So he's frozen in crystal form, and then, in the end, the stupid rival reporter smashes both of them by accident. That's ridiculous. And that's the end of Scumbug. Those are his only two comic book appearances in Archie comic books. Eventually, Scumbug was supposed to be in the Forever War, which was supposed to be like the big event in issue 73 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures, but it didn't happen, because the book got canceled. So he never made his reappearance after this. I would have liked to have known how they were going to bring him back. Who knows? This isn't much of a appearance. This is just kind of like a cool piece of artwork of Scumbug. In Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Universe Sourcebook, number 2 of 2, which actually turned into 2 of 3 because they added one on the end here, there's an entry in here for Scumbug, and all the artwork in this is done by A.C. Farley. And A.C. Farley is a pretty popular Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle artist. He did all the covers for City at War, so he drew all the Archie characters in this book, and they look awesome. I mean, look at Scumbug here. He looks pretty awesome. In November of 1993, Scumbug made his first and only appearance on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Fred Wolf series. During the Season 7 episode, Night of the Rogues, Scumbug is paid by the Shredder to team up with all of these other bad guys so they can kill the Turtles. His introduction is hilarious because the Shredder goes through like all of the guys on the left and, they've all been in the show before, and then Scumbug just pops up and he's like, and don't forget about old Scumbag. And I could just imagine Mikey being like, who the hell are you, dude? It just seems really funny. And then Shredder introduces Anthrax and fills you in that he's Krang's executioner. And it's just hilarious. It could have just kept on going, and they could have just kept on adding random obscure characters. It almost kind of reminds me of the Looney Tunes short, The Great Piggy Bank Robbery, where Daffy Duck is kind of like Dick Tracy, and at one point all of his villains team up against him, and he just keeps on naming name after name after name, and it's a hilarious cartoon too. So in the cartoon, Scumbug actually uses his turtle exterminating gun, and he also uses this net device. I don't know. It's actually included with the new NECA toy, which is really cool. So this thing shoots a net. It's on the screen for 3 seconds. So you blink and you miss it. On the original toy card, it says that he can chew through almost anything, and they actually use that in the show because he actually chews through a dumpster to try to get Donatello. And Scumbug's design is actually very accurate to the toy. All the basic shapes are there, the spikes on the human arm, the missing teeth. He looks great. I was kind of out of the cartoon at this time, mostly watching Fox Kids, and this would have blown my mind if I would have seen this episode. He looks awesome. He looks just like the toy. And because he looks so much like the toy, it creates this very cool result with the new NECA toy because, I love Scumbug's design, and now I'm going to have multiple versions of the same Scumbug design. It's cool. And it doesn't look like they, like I said, there's some characters like Muckman where they really had to dial them down, but they really got Scumbug, I think, really good here. It'll be really interesting to see eventually when Super 7 makes the Ultimates version, having Playmates, NECA, and your Ultimates on the shelf together. That'll be great. NECA's Scumbug also comes with roaches. He never actually encounters any bugs in the show. So it's just kind of cool that they were trying to, give you something that's similar to the toy. And, I don't know. I'm really excited. That purple device is not in the episode Night of the Rogues. It's actually called the Fission Detector, and it's from the Season 3 episode Invasion of the Turtle Snatchers. But, once I get this in hand, this set, then I'll go into more detail and, provide a bunch of pictures and comparisons. Scumbug was never in the Mirage or Image comics or the 2003 cartoon. His last appearance was in 2016, and surprisingly, it was in 2 different Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles mediums. I can't imagine that it was planned that way, so it's kind of interesting. First, he was in the IDW comic book, Bebop and Rocksteady Destroy Everything, number 3. In this, he just has a very, very brief appearance. And, even if, who even knows if it really is supposed to be Scumbug? Essentially what happens is Bebop and Rocksteady go to StockGen, and they break open these canisters that have all these mutants in them. And inside you have one guy here, and that's Scumbug. There, up here, and then he is easily dealt with. And then that's it. That's all you ever see of Scumbug. I don't know. This look is okay for what it is, but I don't think it's anywhere near as cool as the toy with that half human, half bug mixture. This even has a little tiny cameo with Wingnut and Screwloose. Finally, Scumbug was on an episode of the 2012 cartoon. During the 4th season, in August of 2016, he appeared in the episode The Insecta Trifecta. This Scumbug was a businessman that Baxter mutated with many insects, so he's like a mix of different guys. Baxter wanted some insect mutants to be in his friends and work for him when he was stealing things. Obviously, he looks very different. I mean, and that guy over there, that's Anthrax in this show. And again, very, very different, right? This Scumbug is cool. Like a lot of the stuff in this show, he does have like a creepy factor to him. Like there's some horror in there. Like, look at that. That looks freaky. That's cool. He can fly, and he also has like a hidden mouth that he can like spit something out to stick onto people. In the end, Baxter abandons him after a fight with the turtles, him and Anthrax. So unfortunately, Baxter lost all of his friends. I think this Scumbug is cool, but I don't know. Like, I just like the original design more. I think it's just like a nice mix of things. And I don't know. I just don't think anybody has been able to beat it yet. And now that we're past all of that, now on to the toy. Like I said, I got this in the mail way back in 1990 when I was in kindergarten. This guy was so gross, and I loved it. I was always interested in monsters as a kid, so, I always liked stuff that made me feel a little uneasy. And the way this guy was half bug, half human really seemed creepy. Like how it kind of appears like his bug parts are actually popping through his regular body. Like as if he didn't mutate like normal, but like a bug inside of him just kind of grew and, like I said, ripped right through his skin and stuff like that. It looks kind of gross. Even on the foot here, it kind of looks like the flesh is just kind of hanging there. I don't know. He looks awesome. He looks really cool. I like all those little details, and I think this guy has like one of the coolest faces in the line. It's a mix of like terrifying and just scary. I like all the small little details on it, like how he's missing his tooth. That gives this character a lot of nice personality. You have these huge mandibles, so he can chew through anything. You have these nice cracks and these bumps on top of his head, and in the back here you even have more bumps and more. I don't know if they're cracks; they're just kind of like layers of the shell. But it all looks great, and I like that he has his antennas tied on top of his head. It's a very unique design, even though he's a bug character. He's a bug with style. Yeah, I like him. I think he's cool. I wish he'd stop staring at me. He's got the bug eyes. He's covered in bugs, which is pretty awesome too. Like there's bugs on his shirt, his hands, even all like over his back here. He's got a bunch of bugs. And even down here, he's got bugs on his pants. I don't know. He looks cool. Looks fantastic. I like how you have like this section right here in his chest ripped open. And you kind of see like, I don't think it's his insides. I was kind of having a hard time figuring out what this is. To me, it looks almost like little tiny extra hands in there, like little pincer hands. If you know for sure, let me know. But that's what it looks like. It looks like you have maybe 1, 2 here, and 2 here. And like I said, you have a bunch of extra bugs underneath there. One of the greatest things about the Playmates toys back then was just how unique the sculpts were. Like, you didn't have any reusable parts or anything like that. Like, every character was very unique. And even within the character, they didn't always mirror from side to side. Like, the arms would be completely different and the legs. They always try to make everything look very exciting and just like, I don't know, just super awesome when you were a kid. So of course, like, you know, he's got two different types of hands and he's got two different types of feet, right? So on this side, you have a regular hand. And like I said before, you have a bug there and you have these little spikes coming out. Now, what would be cool is if these were actually painted purple, because that's what it's supposed to be, kind of like how this part right here on his leg is ripped out of his jeans. You know, it'd be awesome to see all these painted purples just to get the actual full look of this guy, or the idea of how he's supposed to be. On this side, you got a bunch of extra bugs there. And again, like I said, I just love how it looks. Like this arm just ripped right through the skin underneath. It's kind of, like I said, gross and awesome. And again, you have these cool spikes coming out of here, which would be even cooler if they were purple. But, you know, back then on a lot of these Playmates toys, they didn't color all these details, which is another reason why I'm looking forward to the eventual Ultimates figure of this, because I can't wait to see Scumbug with all these bugs actually painted. I think that'll look awesome. And, you know, it's just cool. Like, I love how he has like a pincer, or like a insect claw hand on this side and just a regular human hand. It really, like, I don't know, just drives this idea right to my head, and it, like, just makes him look like such an awesome monster for the, you know, the Ninja Turtles to fight. Down here on the bottom, you have the boot, and again, you have like the actual toe poking out of there. Which is kind of interesting is in the cartoon, they actually colored that spike, or his like toe or whatever it is, coming out of the boot, which is funny because you'd think that they would try to even just not even draw that, just kind of like simplify it a little bit. But no, they drew it and they painted it. And it's on the new NECA toy. So that is pretty cool. And if you look back on the pants, like I said, you have like these spikes coming out of him where, you know, he's ripping through his pants. On this side too, you have all that. And again, down at the bottom, you have like his insect foot, which I just think is really awesome looking. And then on the back, like I said, you just kind of have like a big cockroach shell, and you even have these little tiny pincers coming out of here. I can't remember what the purpose of that is on the cockroach. I think it just kind of tells you if it's a male or female. From what I remember when I was just kind of looking up cockroaches a long time ago, there's lots of different cockroaches, and this one you don't want to infest in your house, that's for sure. Yeah, and just like, what's all this? What are all these little circles on top of here? I have no idea what that's supposed to be, but it looks cool. And like I said, you have the bugs. And I don't know, this has just always been a favorite character of mine. It was like, if you had like Bebop and Rocksteady first, which is kind of around the period, like you had Bebop and Rocksteady, and then the next series, things got a little crazier, but they were still kind of dialed down a little bit, like Leatherhead and Ace Duck. Like they're not super crazy yet. But then once you get to this line in 1990, when you have Muckman and Pizza Face, and, you know, even like Wingnut and Screw Loose and stuff like that, like, and Mutagen Man, like they went crazy and they went over the top. And Scumbug here, I think he's not, I don't know if he's necessarily my favorite, but he is definitely like one of my top 10 mutants from the whole line. He's just really cool looking. I really like the color scheme of this guy too. I like the different types of blues. Like you have like the aqua blue on the boot and the shell, and then you kind of have like the lighter blue on his t-shirt. And I like the purple that's supposed to be like his insect body. Like, and then, you know, those are all like cool colors. And then at the top, of course, you have red and yellow. Those are your warm colors, and it just pops. Like the whole design looks great. When it comes to articulation, he's just got the usual Ninja Turtle articulation. It's just a little different in the arms, and you have this extra mouth. So you have the mouth articulation, which is cool. You can actually make it look like he's eating his bug buddies. I don't know why he would do that, but you can do it if you want. Then you just have a neck swivel. You have the shoulder joints, which is usual for Ninja Turtle toys. And then instead of having the cuts and the arms at the same place, they actually have them in different spots. So you can swivel this arm here at the elbow, and this one swivels at the wrist. And then for the legs, you just have ball joints. And that's all you got. Scumbug has some pretty awesome accessories. You have the bug pack, and you have the turtle exterminating gun. and they're just kind of all connected with these tubes, and his body's connected to the backpack with the tubes. Now, I don't understand that. Inside of this pack, right, it's supposed to have anti-turtle spray. Why would it connect to his body? That doesn't make any sense to me, but it doesn't matter because he just looks awesome, right? Like, it's just a cool design. It's still kind of creepy and messed up, right? So, on the back here, you have a bunch of different tanks, which is cool, and they're all labeled, which is nice, like turtle kill. This says caution. You have a skull and crossbones. Up here it says toxic, and you just have some knobs on top. You have a lot of cool pipes around there, and even here you have like the little knobs that to to open up the valves. Yeah, so you can open up the valves here so that the turtle spray goes through there. It's all cool, and like I said, this tube comes around and goes to the gun right here. The exterminating gun is actually pretty cool. It's very different from most guns in this line, which is nice. Just a lot of different details. Plus you have this this tube that comes from the top and goes to the front of the nozzle. Some more extra details on this side. Now I will say this, right? You can actually change which side this gun is connected to. And this hand holds this gun well, but it kind of moves around a little bit. It rotates around. So if you want to, you can actually put this into the human gun, or I'm sorry, the human hand. But the thing is with that is, if you want to connect this tube, you can now connect it to this side. But now the tube kind of like goes over his shoulder and into the, like that. And I just don't like that much. I don't think it looks very visually appealing. Like maybe they could have put this tube here, like connected to the back or something, and it would have worked out fine. But I feel like, nobody would hold their gun like this. You can go under the armpit too, but that doesn't look like right either. So for me, I always put it on this side. Now, the next thing is with these small tubes that go into his chest and to the top of the bug pack, right? Now, if you just get this guy, this is a tip for you, right? You have this tube. It is so much easier putting this tube into his chest and then connecting it to the pack. Because if you have it like here, it's actually kind of hard a lot of times to stick it in there as far as you need it to go without it popping out. For whatever reason, you just can't get like the reach. I got it. Okay. Well, I got it okay now because my tubes have been like bent like this, but if they're straight, you're going to want to stick it into the chest first and then connect it to the backpack. And then, connect the backpack onto his back. That's the easiest way to do that with him. And just like I said, he's got very distinct weapons and they look very cool. I don't know. Like I said, there's just so much cool detail on him. I can't look away. The next thing Scumbug has are these like bright neon orange cockroaches. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to have 5 of these. And again, these are pretty cool looking too. Like the detail on them look nice. And you can do some fun things with them. Like you can, drape them on the Ninja Turtles, pretend like they're overpowering them. You can hang these things on the tubes of his backpack here. And like I said, you could pretend that he's eating them. Or he can even hold them, I think. It's kind of tricky, but I don't know. No, you can't really get a good grip on them because the antennas get in the way of the hand, or the palm of the hand. But, you can still hang them, and you still have, like, some pretty cool things going on. Like I said, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to get 5. I tried to look it up on eBay, and, like, you can't get a good shot of them all, and, like, when they're on the card because they're kind of laying on top of each other. And on Ninja Turtle, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Virtual Figure Archive, they have 5 kind of laid out for you to see. So I believe that is how many you're supposed to have. That I know of, there's only one variant for Scumbug, and that's it's kind of like a dark gray. It's not black. Like you might look at this on the camera. I'll try to show a close-up soon. But no, it's not black. It's actually a dark gray. It's a different color than the pants. That boot and the Aqua Boot. You know, that's the big difference there with the variant and the normal one. You know, this is, I'm pretty sure, is rarer than this one, but I don't think it's like anything where he's like highly sought out, like sought after or anything like that. I don't think he's like worth a ton more just to get him with this variant. I will say this, that some things about this one kind of look, I don't know, it's tough to say. Like the purple on this is a little darker than this purple, and the eyes especially are a little brighter and maybe colored a little nicer. I don't know. And also the red is a little shinier than the red on this. But like that's pretty much your only difference there. Like everything else is almost exactly the same. And like I said, the colors of the purple are almost close enough that you won't even, you know, you wouldn't even notice it really. The backpack, like even that I guess looks like a little tiny bit darker, but not much. I'm missing one of the small tubes for this variant Scumbug. I'm gonna have to pick one up eventually. Let's see, I'm trying to capture this on camera, but like I said, it's just a little difficult to actually see it on here. You could definitely see it in person that it's just a dark gray. Ooh, scary. It's like I got an infestation going on here. Scumbug was an amazing toy, and I'm glad to see him finally get a new NECA release. Hopefully an Ultimates figure isn't too far behind. 1990 was a fun and gross year for the Turtles. Scumbug, Muckman, Mutagen Man, Pizza Face. It was a great year, and hopefully I'll cover all of them as soon as I can. So, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, and don't forget about old Scumbug. Oh yeah, that's right. He was also on the Monopoly game. Talk to you later.